Welcome, guys, to the first Nairobi UI/UX Nairobi Meetup. Happy to have you here. Just to confirm that everything is okay, kindly confirm that all of you guys can hear me, so I don't speak to myself. Someone should probably unmute themselves and just say hi.
Hi, Anthony. Yeah,
we can hear you.
All right, awesome. Thank you. So welcome to first UI/UX Nairobi Meetup. This is going to be an interesting experience for all of us, and thank you so much for choosing to come for the meetup. I trust that you're going to gain a lot of value from all that we're going to be doing today. So the goal of the meetup generally, and I'm going to discuss it in more detail, is to help all of us relate with one another, network, and basically learn from one another, because UI UX and generally tech is a really collaborative thing. And so being able to collaborate with one another and finding ways of interacting in a deeper way is the reason why we're doing this. And so let's first go through the agenda. Today's agenda is doing a round of introductions. We'll share a bit about what the event is about. Then we'll talk about job openings that may be available and events. Then do a case study presentation by Michael. Then a few follow-up questions, and do the mini talk by Joel, and then question and answer from there. Basically, it's quite simple, but the goal here is for us to network, interact, and learn from each other. And I hope that we're going to do that well today. So I would like us to do a round of introductions. And basically the goal would be, if you can have your camera open during your time to talk so that we can see you, interact with you. Tell us your name, what your job title says, if you're actually working, or if you're a student, probably talk about where you are, where you're studying, and then what's your favorite tool in your UX and why do you like it. We want to keep it short so that we do not have too much time doing this, but I encourage you to just express yourself so we get to know more about you. So I'll begin. My name is Anthony. I am a user experience designer at Proto Energy, and Anthony Njoroge, I guess is the way you would call me. You can find me on LinkedIn. Then my favorite tool in your UX, current favorite tool, is a set. FigJam, the tool by Figma, and a graphics tablet. It's one of the tools I really enjoy using during my exploration and trying to find what it is that, like, the solutions to particular issues. I hear someone saying that we can't, Arsenio saying that I can't hear him. Is that the case for everyone?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Ivan. All right, awesome. So that's me. I will pick on the next person, and I guess we're going to go in the same way. That if you pick on the next person. So I encourage you, if you haven't given yourself a name on the chat, please give yourself a name so you can be picked on. So I will pick Dennis Gishuke.
How nice of you. So yes, my name is Dennis Kishuki. I'm a product manager at Proto Energy, and I tend to, well, in the product world, you kind of use a bunch of different tools that are very product oriented. But from a design perspective, I've used Figma previously. It's quite interactive. I like the way I'm able to interact with my team while we're coming up with our designs and share them across, share feedback on it. And yeah, that's what I do. I'll pick up John next.
Hi, everyone. I'm John. I'm also currently a UI UX designer in Proto Energy. So in relation to design, I like using Figma. And the main reason why I like it is because it follows the component library in design properly, as well as you can be able to collaborate effectively using that tool. And I also like Procreate which is an Illustrator tool. I also like to draw sometimes during my free time. Yeah, that's a bit of introduction about me. I can speak, okay, just a moment. I'm Millicent next. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you see me?
We could see you before.
Now we can't.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes.
All right. My name is Millicent. I am a UX researcher at Proto Energy. I work with Dennis, Anthony, and John. My favorite tool is my notebook and pen. Yeah. Well, most of the time. Yeah. Guess that's it.
Yeah, you can pick on someone else.
Okay. I guess I'll just pick Joel.
All right. Well, my name is Joel Mbugua. That's the name I go by in most places, but Joel Mbugua is my full name. And I'm a UX designer at Microsoft. My favorite tool is Figma. That keeps on changing. So at the moment it's Figma. And the beauty about Figma is the collaboration capability and how fast they release new features, something which I really like checking. Next, I'll choose Dan.
Dan may not be ready to go. Someone else wants to go?
I have Gidumbi. You want to go?
Participant, just join right now.
Okay. So we're just doing a round of introductions. So yeah, you can just say your name, job title, and your favorite design tool.
Oh, okay. So, hi everyone. Joseph Gidumbi. A self-trained UI UX designer. Currently working here at Sete Hub. It's a pleasure meeting you all.
Probably someone else. Willie, do you mind going next? And then picking someone who will go next after you.
Hi everyone, my name is Wilson Kisanya, a UX designer at Jubilee Insurance. I started as a graphic designer and then transitioned to UX because of the learning curve and opportunities that I saw there. Basically, my tools, I use only most of the tools of the designs, but basically I work mostly with the Figma and Adobe XD, simply because the internal communication. But for the collaboration, I use Figma, but still learning. It has been a good journey for me to transition, hoping to learn from you guys. I'll pick Faith To. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Faith. I'm currently. Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm currently a graduate student and an aspiring product manager. Don't know much, a lot of stuff on product design, but I'm just here to connect and learn. I'll choose Brian next. So he's just labeled as Bran, no second name.
Hello guys, I hope that's me. Yeah, my name is Brian Wagaba, product designer at Numida. I'm attending from Uganda. Kind of sneaked in into your country.
You're welcome.
But yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I do product design at a fintech company called Numida in Uganda, Kampala. Basically, what we do is we give loans to small businesses through the phone, through mobile phones. So they download our app and they apply through the app. Yeah. I also started as a creative designer and transitioned into product design, which has been a very fascinating journey. Yeah, so it's always good to connect with other designers and get to learn and understand that the problems that we face as designers are not just personal, but they are faced by everyone. You know, everyone goes through the imposter syndrome and all these challenges that we face as designers. So I'm happy to be with you guys. I will choose Millicent to go next.
So Millicent already went next. Probably we can have someone else volunteering, or I can pick someone. Andrew, maybe?
I think as Andrew gets ready, I can go next quickly.
Awesome.
My name is Moniki David, currently as UX designer in Safaricom. My favorite tool currently is XD, and of course, excited that there's something like this we can meet and just build each other. Cheers. I can pick Willie. Willie can go next.
I think I've already introduced myself. Maybe I'll choose Andrew.
Okay, let me just go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Nick, and I'm a user experience designer at Azenia, basically building digital products for equity. And my favorite tool, I'll say, is Figma. I used XD for the longest time, but I got very frustrated with it. So my favorite tool now is Figma. And I'll choose Kitikai, Michael.
Hey guys, sorry, I was looking for my where the mute is. So my name is Michael Kitikai. I am a freelance UX designer, and I'm so glad to meet you guys. I think I'm the only one here who uses XD, like full-fledged from the beginning to the end. Yeah, and it's my favorite tool. I'm excited to meet you guys, to meet you guys. Oh, I'll choose my next person I should choose. I'll choose Githumbi. They've written Githumbi.
Hi guys. I think I've already introduced myself. Maybe the thing I haven't mentioned is the tool I use. I use Adobe XD, and currently I'm learning also to use Figma. It's a pleasure meeting you all.
Pleasure meeting you. I'll pick someone, Chik Kamindaka. I think I've murdered that name, but I think you know yourself. Go on.
Okay. Sorry, good evening. My name is Chikambi Naka, but you can call me Kambi. I'm currently a UI designer at Paris Group Limited in Nigeria. And my favorite tool is Figma, and I actually like Figma for the collaboration and also the community. Hello?
Awesome. Thank you. You can pick someone else, someone to go next.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You can pick someone to go next, or I can pick someone else. Elfas, I think you haven't gone yet.
Okay, I'll pick Z.
Okay, if they're not ready, anyone go
Right.
next? Tony or Vivian? Anyone else who has not introduced themselves? I think the list is a bit long. Try
Hello?
to keep it short. Can you guys hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah,
my name is Joseph. I'm coming in from Nigeria. I'm a UI UX designer. Currently job hunting. My favorite tool is Figma and Adobe XD. Hoping to see you guys.
Welcome, Juliet. Who's the next person who'd want to go?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Gertrude Miriam. I'm based in Kisumu. I am a UI UX designer, freelance. My favorite tool is Figma, though I'm familiar with InVision and XD, but Figma has amazing features and most of them are free. Yet for InVision, they are premium. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Gertrude. Welcome. Who's next?
I'll go next. My name is Michael. I'm from Uganda. I'm a product designer at Mkopa. My favorite tool is Sketch, but I'm loving Figma lately. I think I'm about to decide. Yeah, I'm the Kampala design community in Uganda. I'm very happy to meet you all.
Welcome. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. My name is Leangari. I'm a UX researcher working at Medic, previously Medic Mobile. My favorite tool is Figma, basically because of the collaboration bit.
A lot of
From
guys who
based
use
in
Figma.
Nairobi.
Welcome. Who wants to go next?
Hi, I can go next. My name is Vivian. I am a product designer. I'm a UX designer. Appian, and my favorite tool is Gasheru, but I'm also starting to get into Figma. Yeah.
You're speaking on mute, Anthony.
Yeah, sorry for that. Who wants to go next?
Sorry for that. Who wants to go next? Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Sanam, and I'm in Ghana, and I'm a freelance product designer. I use Figma, Sketch, and Adobe XD, and it's great to be in this community to also to learn from everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. Who wants to go next?
Welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Gaki. I guess I would fall in the category of a researcher. I transitioned from architecture. So I think in relation to my work, I mostly just use a lot of Miro and Notion. It just makes things a lot easier. I've done a bit of UI, but I think I'll just stick to UX, to the research for now. Yeah.
I'm sure there are a number of people like you in the meeting as well. So welcome.
Thank
Who wants to go
you.
next?
I can go next. Hi, my name is Stephen Gasheru. I'm a product design consultant. I consult for a couple of companies, and my favorite tool is Figma.
Welcome. You, one of my colleagues says that you sound
Hey
like
everyone,
one of the other
I'd like
colleagues.
to go
Go on.
next. My name's Philip.
I'm a software engineer. My favorite tool is Figma because it gives you CSS from designs designers give you. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Happy to connect with you guys.
Awesome, you're welcome. Someone else wants to go next?
I can go next. Hi everyone, my name is Evans. I am a front-end engineer and a UX designer at Energy Access. Yeah, my favorite tool, I'm switching from Sketch to Figma, so I guess I'm jumping on that bandwagon as well. Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Awesome. Someone else wants to go next? We may be done, so I guess a bit of silence will mean that we proceed.
Can I go next?
Yeah, awesome, go on.
Thank you so much to be here. My name is Lawrence. I'm a UI UX designer at Palladium Group. My favorite tool is, I've been using all the design tools for a while, but my favorite is Figma. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Someone
Hi,
else?
everyone.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Fender. I am a design research consultant. Happy to be here. I've interacted with a lot of tools, the likes of FigJam, Figma, XD, but my favorite tool is pencil and paper. This is because I'm a big enthusiast for iterative prototyping. So you sketch stuff on paper on the go, get learning as quickly as you can on the cheap. So favorite tool, pencil and paper.
For sure, for sure. Welcome. Anyone else wants to go next?
Yes.
Go next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Titus
Hello.
Nderitu. I'm a product designer, currently based in the UK, but involved with a lot of projects back in Nairobi. So just keen to follow the conversation. Good to meet you all.
Awesome. You are welcome. Anyone else wants to go next? There was someone speaking before.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, you can
Hi.
go first. You go first.
So hi everyone, my name is Kevin. I am a jack of all trades. I am a graphic designer, but I recently stepped into UI UX. But I've been doing web development and web design, so essentially it's still UI UX. So I learned Figma recently, but ultimately I consider myself an Adobe Creative Cloud expert. So that means Photoshop, Illustrator, and also XD. So I'll hand it over back to Arsenio because that guy has been trying to speak forever. Yeah, thank you guys.
It's cool. Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Arsenio. I'm from New York City. I recently just finished an online boot camp for product design, UX, UI, and I'm currently trying to get my first position as a junior product designer. And this is literally my first ever online event, and I'm just so glad to see so many African people here. Like I didn't know that there were so many people who does the same thing I do. So I'm just glad y'all are here. You know, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. You know?
Awesome. You're welcome, and good luck on your journey. Okay, who wants to go next?
Okay, hi. I'm Gloria Osoro, and I'm a UI UX designer at the B Hub, currently in Nairobi. Thank you.
Welcome. A bit of silence will mean that we are done. I don't want to leave anyone out. It's really a great honor to meet all of you, so don't want to leave anyone out.
I can go next. So, hi everyone. I'm Eva Chamboram, currently working as a graduate trainee analyst at Safaricom, but recently discovered my love and interest in UI UX. So it's pretty new, but I really like it. Not been here long enough to have a favorite tool, So for now, I'd just like to say Figma because it's the only one that I know. So yeah, that's me. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Welcome. Who wants to go next?
Let me go next. Hello guys, my name is Isavari Habukwi. I'm also very new in the UI UX space. I currently just dipped my toes into UI writing, so I'm excited to be here and learn a few things. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Duncan Gichu. I am a UX designer by choice, but a security expert by education. So my favorite tool is Adobe XD, but I use Figma just basically because everyone is using it. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You are welcome. Anyone else can jump in. Bit of silence will mean that we move on. So take your chance.
I think I can go next. Hello, everyone. My name is Kangi Brian. I'm a product designer currently at Trigger, formerly at Percival. I'd say I do use a couple of tools across the board. The tool I'm most in love with right now is Abstract with regards to collaboration and design handoff. So glad to meet you all.
Hello everyone, I'm Henry, product designer, and I'm happy to be here. My favorite tool, since I've used a bunch, and yeah, I believe a tool is just to get you where you want to go. Happy to be here.
Awesome. You're welcome, guys. Anyone else?
I think I'll go next. I'm Tiffany Tara. I'm a user-centered designer with Producers Direct. I'm also a community leader for a remote design community called Chopper Freak. So at Producers Direct, I help farmers come up with cool solutions so that they can improve their livelihoods and practice better farming. Yeah, it's nice to meet you all, guys.
Nice to meet you, Tiff. Feel free to share your link to the community so that the rest of us can also join. And also, guys, if you want to connect with any of the guys in here, you probably want to drop your link to LinkedIn or a way that people can find you and people will reach out to you directly. So feel free to do so on the chat. All right, who else wants to go next?
Luck. I'm a designer currently at
Right, who else wants to go next?
If someone unmuted. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I'm
Enda tu
currently
ulale
a
kwa
designer.
kitanda Nelson. Najiumiza hapa.
Someone unmuted. Anyway.
Go ahead, Gerald.
Can I go next?
Okay, sure.
Oh, sorry for that.
Okay, sure.
Hey, my name is Rolak. I'm a UI UX designer at Sondela. To those who are looking for positions, or those who are looking to switch positions, or those who are looking to consult, Andela is always hiring UI UX designers, so feel free to apply anytime. And to the organizers of this, good stuff, man. This is really good.
Awesome, you're welcome. You can post the link to the way guys can apply, and we're also going to have a jobs section, so you can talk about it then. All right, who else wants to go?
I think I'll go next. Yeah, so my name is Gerald Manu. I'm a freelance UI UX designer, currently working also with Mbugua Innovations. Yeah, I'm glad to be here and to know you all. Thank you.
Awesome, you're welcome. I hope I've not left anyone out. It's really important that the main goal of this, over and above anything that we may hear from other people around, the presenters from me and so on, is to allow all of us to connect. So this is a really important part of this meeting so that everyone can be able to get to know everyone else. Please share your link. I hope I've not left anyone out. If you have been left out, please start speaking. I will stop. If not, we'll move on.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I'm Tolu Animi. I currently work for a telefarm company. And my favorite tool is Figma. I'm from Nigeria.
You're welcome. Okay, awesome. Okay,
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hey, my name is Sharon. Currently, I'm in between jobs. I'm a product designer, and my favorite tool that I've been using is Sketch, and right now I'm also into Figma, and it's nice to have this meeting. Just can't wait to hear what you all have to say. Thanks.
Awesome, you're welcome. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, cool. I guess I'll continue encouraging you. Post your link to your LinkedIn, or that way someone can find you on the chat. But let's move on. So thank you so much. You guys are welcome. I'm happy that we have all been able to make it to the event. I trust that this is going to be of value to you, and that as you're going to be listening and learning from all of us, each of us learning from each other, that it's going to be something that is of that is going to give value that you're going to get. So as I'd said, the main first agenda was introductions. You can probably click on me that is speaking to be able to see the slides directly. So next step, just a moment, just getting myself organized, sorry. There we go. All right, so let's talk a bit about who UI UX Nairobi is. So basically, we are an evening meetup, and the goal is to bring together professionals in digital product design and UI UX enthusiasts. So everyone from product engineering and so on, whether you're a professional in UI UX or not, you're welcome to come and join us. And we are focusing on Kenya as a main target audience, but we welcome anyone else who would want to come, especially for this virtual meetup. And we want to learn from you wherever you're from. The goal here is to network, share ideas, and improve ourselves through meetups like this and as we proceed. So when we meet, it's every second Wednesday of every month at 5:30, just as we did today. So on the second Wednesday, you can book that time. We are going to be doing this, and the goal is that we're going to be doing rounds of 6 meetups, so like half a year, depending on how it goes, depending on how you guys respond, and if you're getting value and you show that you're actually getting value by attending, then we'll continue for another round of 6 months and on and on. And the goal is to give value and help all of us grow. So for now, we are going to be online, and that's the main way we're going to be having the meetup. And you can go to UI UX Nairobi. Actually, let me go to the next screen here is UI UX Nairobi .co.ke. You'll find where the next events are. You can also view what the past events were. Like this one will be stored in UI UX Nairobi /events, and that's going to be available after the end of this. And if you want to be part of a Slack community and WhatsApp groups that are going to be focused specifically on UI UX, please send an email to hi@uixnairobi.co.ke and to show your intention of getting involved, and you'll be added to them. Also, if you want to participate, now all of these events are organized in our own free time, and so it's not like we're doing this as a full-time thing, and so any help you give would really be of high impact and would be appreciated. So ways that you can help is help organizing the event. If you want to be a moderator in a future event, if you want to do graphic design for any of the things we're going to be doing. Shout out to John. John Moge is in this particular meetup today. He designed the poster for this event today. The other way you can help is doing a case study presentation, like what Kitikai is going to be doing today, and then also giving a mini talk like what Joy is going to be doing today. So just contact us at hi@UIUX Nairobi. I hear people saying that you can't hear. Philip Ndegwa, I hope I'm clear to everyone. But contact us at hi@UX Nairobi if you're interested in participating in all of this good stuff. All right, so let's move to job offers. Right now I have one, but anyone else who has a job offer or job opportunity that you know about, please let us know. So Proton Energy, where I work, is looking for a backend developer. I know this is not your UX, but you may have a contact that maybe a backend developer. So they can contact the email that I've just that placed here. You can probably copy it, and you will just ask the person to contact that email address. Then, is there anyone in the group, anyone here who would like to talk about any opportunities that exist? There's someone from Mandela. Do you want to talk about that now? We can probably post the links as well if there are.
Yes, Mandela is always hiring for lots of positions. Just submit your CV. I'll also share my email just in case you want me to introduce you directly to one of the hiring managers.
Awesome. Probably you can share your email here, guys. We are going to copy it on the chat. Thank you, Ralak. Anyone else who wants to talk about a job opening that they have currently?
That's really nice of you, Ralak. I have a quick question for you, by the way, because I feel like it's sort of like an open stage right now before Joe presents, I guess. What's your interview process like at Andela?
Okay. I think it's changed when I joined, because the recruiter approached me and then I just sent them my portfolio. And then there was the first interview, then there was the second one with the designer, and then there's another interview with one of the developers. And if you go through the 3 interviews, then they'll find you a partner, and then you have to interview with that partner. So there are like 4 interviews, but you have to know your stuff. You have to understand both the UI design part of it as well as UX part of it. But no pressure. It's something easy. If you know your stuff, it's something really easy.
Awesome.
That sounds exciting.
Peter?
So I'm seeing a lot of guys on the chat are like they're looking for the first internships and the first role. Any words of advice for us,
Peter?
Padawans?
Peter, so that we can stick to the program here, I would encourage you to contact George directly so that we do not go off schedule. But thank you for the
Did you get my
question,
Ralak?
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, as Anthony has mentioned, I think you can just reach out to me and then we can touch base later.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Anyone else who has a question, a job opening that they have available? Moneki has posted.
Great. I think, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, Anthony. I think I also wanted to highlight Safaricom also is hiring a lot of developers and UX designers. So I've dropped a link there. Just keep checking it. Safaricom.aleo.net. Just keep checking. I mean, they keep hiring. So you may try your shot when you see a posting that matches your qualification. Cheers.
Awesome.
Back to you.
Thanks, Moneki. I appreciate it. Anyone else?
Yes, Anthony.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm Michael from Mkopa. I'm going to post the links. We're hiring for a head of design and a senior product designer. I'm going to post the JDs here and my email. If anyone is interested, please shoot me an email or something, and I'll be able to get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Michael.
Hey, Don here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, not directly related to design, but ID.org is hiring a project manager under adolescent sexual reproductive health on a contract basis. But ID.org is a design firm. So, yeah, I'll post a share link.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I'm sure that will be helpful to everyone here. All right. Great. So I'd like us to move on if there's no one else who has something to say. Thank you so much for sharing those. If there's anyone who has any other job listings, please post them there. I'm sure many of these listings are probably not available in other places, in like publicly available. So again, I would encourage you to apply. You may have a better chance of applying now. And in case you have talked about the job posting here and you'd want someone to reach out to you specifically, you can probably add it to the chat so they can reach out to you if there's any advice that they want to give or any referral. Awesome. So again, if you have an upcoming event that is coming up that you'd want to share, please post it also in the chat here. I'm sure all of us, part of the reason why we started this meetup is because we are really interested in like networking and growing ourselves as product designers, digital product designers, and there are not a lot of meetups or events available. So I encourage you to, if you have any event coming up, please post the links there, and guys will reach out to you or attend the event that you have coming up. All right, so it's time for the case study presentation. Now, let me probably explain what I mean by this. The goal of the case study presentation is basically a short presentation mirroring the way that a normal job interview presentation would look like. So let's say you've been invited for an interview and you are required to present a case study. You basically present it in the same way. You're going to get feedback posted either by the chat and please hold on the feedback before allow the person to finish presenting, then you can give feedback. And a few people, and I'll encourage you to raise your hand so that we can be able to pick who is going to receive feedback, but give feedback. But the goal of the feedback is not necessarily design focused, like you could change these colors to this and this. It should be more focused on the presentation skills. Now, the goal of this case study presentation is to allow the presenter to build their own presentation skills, but also help all of us learn from the way they presented, so that we can be able to learn the things that they did well and learn from them, and also provide exposure to the presenter just in case there's someone who is, and we've noticed a few people who are hiring, so in case someone wants to reach out to them, they can reach out to them directly because they'll have gotten the exposure here. So if you're interested in doing a case study presentation in the future, I encourage you to email us on hi@yourUXNairobi.co.ke, and we're going to slot you in. Awesome. So I would welcome Michael to share his screen and go ahead with the presentation. Michael has a case study to present, and he has an interesting presentation to give. So Michael, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. I guess I'll be the pioneer of the first case study. So don't judge me that much. Okay. I'm also new to this this meeting platform. I'm used to Zoom. So if you guys see me, maybe I'm not correctly sharing my screen or anything of the sort, just tell me. Okay. All right. So I will start with my first presentation, and I want to draw an intro, a quick intro of how it works. I'm trying to share my screen, so good. So can everyone see my screen? If you can, you can. All right, good, great. All right.
I only see a K. I don't see you're right. Oh, now I see it.
And now, can you see it?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, cool. So now I'm assuming everyone here probably lives on their own, or where they live, they have power, they use tokens. So I'm going to give here a quick case scenario. So imagine you're just from work. You've had a long day of work. All you want to do is chill and watch today's game, okay? And it's probably Manu. And just when it's on its 80th minute, boom, power blackout. There's no power, you know? So what do? You check outside, all your neighbors have power, and it hits you. Damn, I've exhausted all my monthly tokens. Kumbe haukulipa, you didn't recharge. So you do like any Kenyans would do, you know? You leave the house and go to the meter box, you key in the tokens, or you buy them first via M-Pesa. Then you key them, go to the meter box, and you start putting all those digits. There are usually a lot of digits. And then by the time you're coming back to the house, the game is over. Manu has been beaten 4-0. Cristiano was sold out. And Ole is still the boss. Okay? You know? So it's crazy what a blackout can do, you know? It might look hypothetical, but that's what a blackout can do. Also, guys, I don't know who's reacting with laughter because I'm hearing a lot of laughter. So kindly mute. So that's just a hypothetical situation I just brought in, and I'm sure every one of us here are aware of how the situation is when we want to buy power and all that. So I came up with a case study. And if you'd like to follow up my case study, I will link it on the chat. Just check the chat right now. There's the link to my website. You can check it, or if you're in my website, just on the case study is the first link. But the one I've shared is the first, the case study. Okay, we're good. So sorry about that. So an overview. What is Kenya Power and what is the token? So Kenya Power is a national electric utility company managing electric metering, licensing, billing, emergency electricity services, customer relation, and it's partly owned by the government of Kenya with 50% shareholding and private investor. So unless you're not from Kenya, I'm sure all of us are aware of that. We've all seen Kenya Power at some point, and we are probably using it. So the challenge here, as mentioned, buying token is not seamless as you would think, because we live in a digital world. The first challenge is no automation. So most of us are familiar with the long process of buying KPLC token, and it's usually you have to go to a pay bill, you buy, and then you just wait. Could I minimize?
If you could maximize. No, you maximize.
Maximize. Like that?
Still not in the presentation mode.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's not. Told you I'm still new to this.
Don't worry, we all are.
So, all right. That's where do I share? So kindly tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, sawa. So I will, if I've gone through the overview, now if you're following up, I'm on this stage, okay? So the first challenge is that there's no automation. When you're buying power, you have to go and physically key in all those tokens in the meter, okay? The second challenge is that there's no status update. Currently, I'm sure you guys, unless you go and take the token meter, is the only time you will know about how many tokens you're left with. Otherwise, there's no any other way to know, even through the app. And then another one is that you can't buy token through the app. For some weird reason, I don't know why, they have to take you to a different platform. They give you a pay bill and all that, and you can't buy it the way you do it directly from M-Pesa. And finally, the reversal process is a nightmare. Personally, this is a personal experience. I once bought power to the wrong unit, to the wrong account. And when it came now to requesting for reversal, I was told to scan a form, print it, put my ID, my phone number, house number, all that, then scan it again. Then I emailed them, and then it's been 4 months. I've never gotten them. So these challenges prompted me to create or to come up with an easier solution in which we can make buying tokens and managing our power seamless. Okay, so my role here was UX designer. I did everything. I did the UI, UX, sketching. I also did the user testing and all that. The timeline was 4 weeks, and my team consisted of me, myself, and I. The approach, I used myself and my pain points to come up with the solutions, and then I later conducted a user testing interview. Yes, if you want to check on that user testing interview, let me click it. This is the user test interview, the survey they were to fill here and all that. I will also share that link in the tab. You can go through it and see it. So let me go back. So in summary, what were the results? I'm sure most of you guys saw the post via LinkedIn. It got a lot of traction, 3,000 likes, 369 comments, and over 40,000 views, which was good. I also posted it on Twitter. KPLC also replied, and they said, "This is good. We appreciate the value your feedback. Please feel free to reach out to us." So that's just the intro summary of the whole case study. So now let's dig in deep. Let's dive in to the actual project. So I started with the ideation. So the first thing was to identify the objectives. That is, what do I really want to achieve with this product or this app? So I came up with the following question, like the first one: what do I really want the user to achieve from this platform? How will it improve their life? What key features would I, KPLC daily user, want to see in the app? And how would an average Kenyan with very basic knowledge of tech be able to navigate through? And then finally, how useful will this be to them? All right. So later I came into the sketching and did the features. So after coming up with a few objectives, and the app came out, the features came out straightforward. These were: enable users to buy token directly from the app without being directed elsewhere or using third-party platform, show live updates of my current power usage, an easy and seamless way to reverse token, which is not a nightmare anymore, and then notify users about the future planned power interruption. This basically means there'll be a power blackout in your area. If you follow KPLC on Twitter, you'll notice they usually post those, they call them planned power interruption. And they say the places where they're planning to do a power interruption. So it could be your place tomorrow. Someone needs to mute.
Go on then.
Cool.
You okay?
Thank you.
Yes. You have a 5-minute warning.
Oh, 5 minutes. Shit. Oh, sorry. All right. So I did the SketchUps and all that about the objectives and all this was first on paper. Then I came to the user journey. I mapped out everything and all the instances that I'd want the user to go through. And then I came to the low fidelity wireframes. I drew them on paper from the loading screen all the way to the setting. This was a very light app, basic, so it didn't cover all the pages. Then later I refined the wireframes into Adobe XD. I made them now look something presentable and all that, easy to follow. And then finally, I came to the high fidelity. This is what you guys are seeing now as the final output. So how did I come up with it? The first thing first is the colors. I chose blue and yellow as the primary colors because the two contrasts are easy on the eye, and also for accessibility purpose, it's easy to spot yellow while on a blue background and vice versa. So I've illustrated it here. And also, there's this site that usually tests accessibility colors. It's called armycolorsaccessible.com. And I tried the two colors and the result was yup, and it was perfect. So for the typography, I went with circular standard font because it's easy to read and it's not that common. So here's a bit of the prototyping. You can see the app in action. And I highly encourage you guys to go through the case study and see how it functions, all of it. So let's go into the individual screens. So the first three screens are the splash screen. The first screen is the splash screen, then the login screen, then the register screen. So by default, if you're a new user, you'll be taken to the register screen. And then if you're a Kawaida user, you just log in with your password. I think for this instance, you log in with your Meter account. On the home page, there's a top bar here, and it's showing you your token status. The available tokens you have now. So for this time, this person who is me, I have 19 tokens. And those 19 tokens can last me 11 days, and I bought them for 570 shillings. Then when you scroll down, there's here a usage analytic that shows how much I've been spending every month. And then there are transactions here, down here. Yeah, that's that. Then there's the navigation bar. The navigation bar, there's the home screen.
If it's okay with you, I'm going to stop you once you're done with the navigation bar, so we can have at least two people asking questions.
All right. Okay, sawa. Or can I just peruse quickly the whole meaning?
Okay, if you're going to spend in under a minute.
Sawa. Yes, okay. So 59, 58. So that's the navigation. Those are at the screen, how you can buy tokens, how you can reverse token, report blackout. There are additional pages there. And then I did the user testing. There was actually a form that people are filling, and then the few challenges I got. If I had time, I would have gone through the feedback I got from the users because it was overwhelming and it was very valuable.
Probably you can state one of the highlights of the feedback you got, like one that jumped out at you.
All right. So surprisingly, for this, I got a lot of positive feedbacks, and guys were saying, great. But here are the few So someone was saying, this is awesome. It looked like a prototype, blah, blah, I already put it there.
Are you displaying something? Because we can't see it.
Yes, but now if I'm displaying, I'll lose my time. But
that's fine. Go on. Sorry, I'm wasting it.
But I'm reading it somewhere. So someone wanted, now, apart from the token, there's this other one you pay, postpaid. You just pay after you've spent your power. So if we could enable that. Someone else wanted Sambaza or share token or Okoa tokens, if that could be possible. And then on the purchase page, you can add a function to request another M-Pesa user or Bonga point or reward. So basically, it's like you can borrow token from someone else. Someone else said
I think
to reverse a
we can stop it
okay.
at that point.
Cool. Cool.
Sorry, I wish we had more time. Unfortunately, we don't. So I'm going to allow for 2 people to give their feedback on the presentation given, not necessarily on the design itself. If you want to comment on the design, or you probably don't want to speak, or if you don't get a chance, you can post it in the comments. I'll encourage you to continue looking at the feedback at Kitikai, but you get the feedback yourself directly from the users. But I'd like 2 people who would like to speak, giving feedback on the presentation. If you are a hiring manager, would you consider him to move on to the next stage? And what can you advise him so that he gets a chance to move on to the next stage if he was being hired either for a freelance job or so on? So 3 people, please raise your hand before continuing. And if you just want to post your comment, just post it on the side. Elfas, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone else who wants to speak, please raise your hand. Anyone else who wants to speak, please raise your hand ahead of time. Go on, Elfas.
Sorry, I'm not hiring or anything, but I'm actually starting my journey into UX design. And this guy is the guy who actually got me to start, because I also had problems with KPLC, and I saw it on LinkedIn and I was super happy. And I didn't understand what was happening. And then I found out about it and then got into UX design. So I could be a fan of your work. So thank you. And it looks good. Look good then. I hope they do something about it, and keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Anyone else? I haven't seen a hand up, so I'll speak as I wait for a hand up. I love how you set up the presentation. You first gave context, so that anyone who does not understand what the problem you're solving understood the context before you delved into the solution, and that you're very specific in showing your work. And so again, I think I have a lot to even learn about my own portfolio in terms of showing your work all the way from sketches. And one of the other things I really liked about the presentation is that you had different ways of someone interacting with the design itself. So even before picking you as a even if I was shortlisting, I would be able to actually interact with the app itself before even shortlisting. So I think that was a really good thing that you've done. I see Gertrude's hand is up. She'll be in this time the last person to speak around this. If you have other comments, please paste them in the comment box. Gertrude, go on.
Yes, I like the display, and except maybe you could some of the things that people consider while hiring is the way you design the user personas. I mean, the way you define, because that has to come out clearly. So, for example, if you are the one, so you describe the user persona in the sense that some sort of, you describe that customer who's going to use that product as part of the journey. So I didn't see that. So that is something that you could add. For example, yes.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say I actually did. I had the persona. It's in my draft, but I didn't present it on the here. But I had 2 guys. One was called Jerry, and the other one was John. Who, yeah, so I would have gone through it, but due to the interest of time, yeah. But thank you for your feedback. You can carry on.
Yes. Oh, then that's fine, because some people want to see that to understand the user. The target audience. Yes.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, guys, for feedback. Please continue posting it on the chat. Again, we have overrun our time. I'm trying to make sure that we honor our promise of ending this by 7. So thank you so much for that presentation. It's really awesome. Michael, if people want to reach out to you, how should they do so?
Oh, okay, cool. My email is hi@kitikai.com. Or you can check out my website, kitikai.com. I have all my details, my email, my Gmail, and all that. I'm also Michael Kitikai on LinkedIn. In fact, let me just post my LinkedIn right here. If you search Michael Kitikai, you will find me. I'm posting it in, just check the chat. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate you taking up the challenge of being the first presenter. I'm sure you've done a good job and really thankful that you're available. So I'd like us to go to the mini talk of the day. And the mini talk today is going to be shared by Joel. Joel is a designer at Microsoft, and he is going to share that with us today. Basically introduce himself, but at the same time, he's going to tell us about what it takes to succeed as a digital product designer. We are honored to have you, and thank you for accepting the invitation. Joel, you can proceed and take over. Now, after this, we're going to have questions that are going to be posed to Joel. So I would encourage you to continue asking, like, think of the questions. You can post them just in case you forget, so that we can attend to them after Joel presents. But round of applause. Let's welcome Joel to on stage.
Thank you very much, Anthony. It's such a great opportunity to meet, especially in these times, and connect with other fellow designers, product designers, UI, UX, and even engineers. So I'm going to talk about how to succeed as a digital product designer. And a disclaimer: it's not that I'm a successful one. I'm also in that channel of doing best practices to succeed. And we'll start with a definition of who is a digital product designer. So we've all heard of UI, UX, which has been very common. But a digital product designer looks at the needs of the business, the customer, and then rather than focusing on that particular design job, be it UX, visual design, or UI, they will try and solve the problem using all those tools, UI, UX.
Hi, Joel. Sorry to interrupt you. Someone is asking that you go on full screen mode so that you can see your slides better.
Okay, I am sharing
you're
my
okay with
full
that.
screen. Yeah.
No, like go on presenter mode, but if you're comfortable with that.
Let me see. Is that on Jitsi or Jitsi?
No. On the slides, just click on present.
Yeah.
The button at the top.
Yeah, I was actually I had already clicked on present. Are you able to see it?
No. So what we are seeing are your slides. Then the other slides. Yeah. So you may probably want to reshare. Yes.
Okay.
You may probably want to share your tab again. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So I'll share my entire screen.
Okay.
Tap, click.
There we go.
And then present.
Yes,
Are you able to see
perfect.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
that works.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as I was saying, the digital product designer looks at the entire process of solving a problem that either a customer or the business has in terms of releasing the product to solve a specific problem. And a successful one will have that that overview as you continue from the first step to the last step. So let's look at some of the skills that a digital product designer will require as you go. So the first one is the business mind. So when you join maybe a company or you're working with a customer, have the business in your mind that they are releasing a product, they're releasing a website or a visual, it could be even just a mock-up of something that they want to release to our markets. They have a goal that they want to achieve. So with that in mind, then come up with a strategy that will help achieve that goal. So for instance, I'll take an example. Like if you have a product that is supposed to help retailers, the Mamaduka or Babaduka, to sell online, then always remember that at the end of the day, they want to see that their profits will increase because now they have more presence, they have more customers, and not vice versa. Not that it will not stop them from selling at the shop, but it will increase their business sense. So that's the purpose. One of the things that we need to look at as a digital product designer. And then you have the different talents, that is UX, UI, interaction design. All these people, they might be part of your team. So some companies have an agile setup where you have specific roles, people who are UX, some people are research, others are interaction designer. And of late, I've started seeing voice design, which is kind of interacting with Siri or Alexa, so that you are able to know what are the kind of natural language that the tool or the gadgets needs to understand when the user is interacting with them. So when you know these different roles, you can be able to place them in the journey of releasing the product. In the companies that I've worked previously, there was no like definition of a UX separate from a UI. So you are the same UI, UX, you are the interaction design, and you'll see that in a lot of startups. So ideally, it's good to separate these roles, even if it's the same person, have a way to specify this is the UX stage. As you've seen in the case study where I remember I can't remember your second name, but the case study had specific sections where you do the wireframes, you do the high fidelity and the final prototype. So it's good to separate those tasks. And a good UI tip is always try and balance the three: the looks, the feel, which is more on the interaction design, and the usability, which is the functionality. So many times people go for the looks. So when you download that mobile banking app, you'll first look at how good it looks. Then if you hit a snag on the login screen, which is very common, if you go to any app store, you'll see the people struggle with registration and login. Then they will rate it like 1 star, or they just complain about it in the reviews. So it's always good to match the looks and the usability. And then once they log in, how do they experience it when they want to withdraw some money to M-Pesa? Do they go through 10 steps, or do they go through 2 steps or 5? So that should be in a very well balanced recipe. Let's talk about visual design, which takes quite a big chunk of the journey of building the product. So the first thing that I usually do is come up with a brand guide, or that's the design playbook, which defines the different colors, different fonts that will be used in that product, and specify who are the end use or the end devices that will be used. So if it's mobile and or web, then you have specified how things will work out. And most of the time I start with pen and paper or the whiteboard. I always have I like a whiteboard because it's easy to look at it from afar and see how the whole thing fits together. And then you would go into low fidelity, high fidelity, create a prototype of the high fidelity, so that you don't start creating the actual designs without testing early. So that's one of the things I like. And then now you start refining the design, putting in the colors, and eventually having a prototype of the final design, which you can now test even with actual users. So this is just a snapshot of the visual design stage, which I think takes a lot of time. And I've put 3 icons down there because these are tools that you can use, but there are many out there. I always like getting to know each one and their strength, because you find that people, like if I know XD really well, I'll want to use it for all the stages, right? But you might find that Sketch is good in one thing, and it's okay to mix and match. And another thing is that when you're applying for jobs, that's what I've come to learn, that you find certain companies, they want you to be good in Sketch, others want you to be in Figma, others don't care whether you're good in each. So it's always good to try different tools. And then these are some of the design skills that you can have in a team. Let's say, for instance, you are the product manager and you have a budget for different roles. So the UI is the guy who does the visuals. The user experience designer is the one who would come up with the journey. The journeys that the user would experience from the first time they interact with the product to the last step. And then the visual or the creative designer is the guy who comes up with the graphics or specific visuals that will be part of the app or the website. And nowadays there's a voice designer who looks at how you'll interact with the app using your voice, or the sounds that will be generated. Like you've noticed in Jitsi, anytime somebody laughs, there's a laughter behind that. So all these things, when you scale them to a bigger company, you will need a very dedicated person to do such things. And then interaction design is, how do you refresh the app? Do you swipe up and then a loading icon shows up? Or do you have to quit the app and then you restart it to refresh something? So all these things have to be thought about. And then the content designer is a person who looks at the wording. Some people call them a writer or a content writer or content designer. They think about the words, the right tense, the right spelling, and how that it will make it easy for people who are, especially people who are keen on, reading rather than just the looks and everything. It's important to have these roles in your mind when you're in the journey, so that you can know if you have few stuff, you can have a single person doing UI, UX, another person doing interaction, creative designer doing the graphics, and so forth. I'm not monitoring the chat, so just
yeah, that's okay. I'll stop you.
You'll do that. All right. Okay. Cool. And then one of the things that I've found that's very key is understanding the implementation or the development. So previously, I never used to be keen on this because, especially when I was just a designer, you've done your parts, you've created the designs, but understanding how they're implementing it is important. And that's what they call the developer handover. That helps avoid design debt, which is the developers or the engineers have not understood what the design needs to do. So they need to get the thought you had when you were designing the button, the screens, the colors and everything, so that they implement it exactly the way you want it. And later on, after implementation, there's usually a process called design QA, where you can do some quality assurance. Does the actual product match the designs? So you compare 1-to-1, and that helps. That's something that you do with engineers, so that they can air their questions, their fears, their concerns, and also understand the journey. Yeah. So that's a very important piece. And then last thing about presentation is when you finally release your app, let's say, for instance, on the App Store, what are the kind of images you use? We've seen good apps with bad images, and we've seen bad apps with good images. So what that means is the presentation, people look at what you put on those app images or on the website, and it can determine someone's action of downloading and using the product. So it's important to follow up with the content designer on marketing material that you'll use to make sure the visuals match what you're offering to your customers. And then the last step will be always evaluate and refine what you've done. So after you get the customer feedback, because it's a cycle, you always go back after you do the last prototype, after you do the first release, you'll always get feedback. And it's important to go back on the charts and say, hey, this is what people are saying. How can we improve the process? So it's a good thing to always have that in mind. So in summary, always ask yourself whether you have solved the problem. And normally you start with a problem statement. So it will be a customer wants to find products easily on maybe Google. So how do I solve this? And you can always reflect on the problem statement in every step, every stage of the product development. Then is the customer satisfied? And in brackets, satisfied doesn't mean happy, because you'll always find that one customer who will be like, hey, the website looks good, but I'd be happy if you had added an e-commerce functionality. And that was not initially in the scope. So always ask yourself whether the customer is satisfied in terms of, are they content with what you've delivered? And if they're not content, get it back as feedback. And then, did the product make business sense? So if you are developing a product for 6 months and you hit the market and you start earning revenue, is it paying back for the 6 months of development? Or is it a product that will be too expensive in terms of time and resources, that even if you make it as much as you'd like, let's say $25 per month or anything, it will not recover the cost. So it needs to make business sense. And then look back, if we did it all over again, what would we do different based on what we know? So as human beings, we always learn from the experiences we've gone through, and a product is always something that you learn, and it grows, it evolves as you go back, as it continues to go from version 1 to 10. So it's always good to look back and say, hey, I think we should have done this different, and use those learning points to improve it or make even a better product. That's it in summary. And I'm open to questions or even learning, because like I say, they're good product designers here. I'm sure we can all learn together from what you guys have experienced out there. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Round of applause. I think we can use the feature on Jitsi to just, I think it has sound as well.
Love it. Yeah,
it's a really nice feature.
Right.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Joel. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to probably comment or ask questions. And so I will first start off with questions that had been asked before. I'll reserve mine for later, but Kitikai had asked, could you describe the difference between a UX designer and a product designer in your own understanding?
Good question. So the product designer looks at the entire process. So he or she is responsible with every step of the design process. Now the UX or the UI only does a section of the product, of the design. So let's take for instance like research, because sometimes UI UXs guys, they actually do the research, but there's that extensive research that you go out, talk to customers, that is usually done by a user researcher. So you'll find that in startups, which is where I'm from, the roles are usually very, like, you'll find one person doing the three, UI, UX, and research. Yeah. But a product designer or product manager is somebody who looks at the entire journey from inception to when the product goes into the market, and not just that is the end, but it takes it even further by continuing to support the product when it's still in the market, and that's why it's called a manager. And that's my thought about the difference between the two.
Cool. So I have, please continue having your hands up. I think it arranges them based on who raised them first. So Gertrude, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to add on what you said. In UI UX, I think most people call brand guide pattern libraries. So something that can guide guys is you can check out the one for MailChimp and BBC. They have, you just say MailChimp pattern library. So they show you how they write their libraries for their products. So I think it's more of pattern libraries other than brand guides. Yeah.
And I guess they can have different wordings because if Joel, are you still also referring to like the brand guide? Would it also be like if you expand it out to be, what do we call it, the component library design system? Is it the same as the brand guide, or do you have a differentiation of that in your mind?
Okay, so now the libraries or the UI components of the design system is when now you're doing the UI UX, you are building the visuals, you need to create components which are guided by a design system. But the design system uses the brand guide as to know the colors to use for the buttons. So the brand guide becomes the first, what do you call it? Like it gives the foundation, and then the design system will use the brand guide to create tools that you'll use to build the UI UX.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gloria, you wanted to ask a question? Go ahead. If Gloria is not okay, go ahead. No problem. Nick, you want to ask a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay, John, go ahead.
Mine is just a question. Because Joel, you mentioned earlier there was interaction designer. So my question would be like, where would you place this designer in the product design cycle? Or rather, would you say that this guy is currently focused on how the user will interact with the product? Let's say in a tangible format, or like the click-throughs and everything? Or would you also involve this particular designer in the whole entire product design cycle? That's from research to visual design. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I think for most companies, they usually do stand-ups, which are like maybe 15 minutes of time where people come in and talk together about how the product is being every step of the product. So I would say I would involve them in the initial kickoff meeting, and then being that the interaction designer interacts only with things that have already been worked on, design. So they could come in after the UI UX, the first UI UX has been achieved, so that they can use tools like Protopie to create an interactive prototype. So that is what can be used now to go out and test even before we start coding. And that's one area I see them being very handy. I've tried to use those tools myself, and it's good to understand the different interaction. If you have a specific person who's good at that, it's good to give them that opportunity to do the prototype interaction, and then also the final interaction, which will now guide the developers on the kind of interactions the app will have.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. So another question here would be, this is by me. If anyone has a question, please raise your hand. So the other question I'd have is, you talked about design debt. So could you give us an example, and probably how do you resolve it?
Yeah, so design debt it's really hard to. Okay, so maybe I can say this: whenever you have those meetings with engineers, the first meeting should be clearly explaining the journey of this is the product we have, this is how we envision it will be operating, and then always being part of their stand-ups. Sometimes they're called ship rooms, where you listen to how the product is, being developed from this stage. They have coded the interface, they have done the front end, and this is how it looks. So you are able to observe and give them feedback continuously, not just waiting for the product to finally be rolled out, and they have now a version that is ready. Then you start discussing it. So it's always good to do it incrementally to reduce the debt in the end, because most of the things that will be done, they are usually done in cycles. So they'll push a PR, and then they will finish with that. They go to backend, or they'll do something else. So it's good to do it incrementally. That's one of the ways I've seen which helps reduce design debt. And having those constant conversations with them so that they understand the strategy you have.
Awesome. So there's Kitikai is asking, what's the hiring process for UX at Microsoft?
Good question. It takes, let me say the process takes like 4 to 6 months, and it entails, first of all, looking at your resume, what you've done, and then you'll be asked to attend oral interviews. Well, because of the kind of the pandemic, they are all virtual right now. But in some time when there'll be no pandemic, you probably go and meet somebody in person. And then after doing 2 oral interviews, you go to the what do you call it? Like doing a problem solving UI UX project. So you're given a problem statement. You're told to solve it using a design tool of your choice. And then from that, once you finish that, you're given a timeline. Once you do that, you'll be given feedback on whether you've passed or not. And if you've passed, they will discuss with you about your solution to understand what is your thought process. So the most important thing is, how do you think through problems? So you're given a problem, how do you solve it? And then how would you even further your solution? Then the other thing is, which I found very important, is how do you express yourself? Because you find that people who, they're good, but they don't know how to explain what they have done. So it's good to know how to express yourself. And then finally, after that will be maybe in the 4th month or 4th to 5th month. Now you start discussing about the job description, what it entails, and whether you're comfortable with it. That's in summary.
Awesome. John has a question.
Yeah, just maybe to add on that, not that particular topic, but just to touch on something different. Could you talk a little bit about culture experiences, especially in a remote environment where people have people are diverse in terms of their culture?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. I got the word culture in a remote environment.
Yeah, I was saying, could you talk a bit about culture in an environment such as a remote environment where people have diverse cultural, like there's a diverse culture even in the people working together?
Yeah, I would say it's been, I think we've all been learning about how to make sure that we, especially for this period, new hires feel included and that you embrace the culture that you find in an organization. So it can sometimes feel lonely, and one of the things that I've seen companies try to do is organize as many one-on-ones virtually as possible, so that you always get to understand how people are feeling and what is their experience. And then they follow that up with surveys. They follow that up with just various ways of virtually to try and make sure you feel included. So I think there's still a bit of culture that needs to be face to face. So now and then we've actually met in person with other team members, observing all the rules, but at least just being in the same room and understanding what it is to meet other people you're working with. It's really important. So it's something that it's very gradual, and also we are learning a lot about the entire thing about joining remote and embracing the culture of a company.
Awesome. Kitikai has a question. I'm suspecting it's the same one you asked on chat.
Yes, it's the same one. It's the second one. So I was asking, what is the average salary for a new intermediate or an expert UX designer? You could touch on Microsoft and in general in Kenya. What should an ideal candidate expect and not devalue themselves?
Well, that's a very good question and a hard one, because the salaries really vary from from company to company, whether they're using a budget or whether they have the capacity to hire you at the experience level you are at. So you find that in some cases a new hire would ask an amount and they'll be like, no, we can't, we have to train you. And so all those factors come into play. But here in Kenya, I would say it's very hard to specify what average salary means, at least for me, I would say. There are times where I've had an expectation like maybe 60, 80, 100 as a new hire. And then you walk into an interview and they're like, no, we can't pay you that much. So it's a very vague question, because not vague in a bad way, but it's something that varies across different companies. So if it's international companies, the best thing I've learned to do is that they have information online as to how much they would pay a UX designer, entry level, mid, and expert. So what I would do is I would take what they're paying, maybe somebody in the US, and then use something called the cost of labor and the cost of living, standard of living. So they use different variables, and then you can say, well, if somebody is paid $10,000 in the US, probably in Kenya, it will be maybe multiplied by a factor of 0.3 or 0.4, depending on the company. And in some companies, if they relocate you to their country, then you will be paid what they're paying the guy there. So yeah, it varies.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I have another meeting, although starting at 7.
Okay. I think we
it's
have
been
actually
a really good discussion.
It's
Yeah.
been an awesome opportunity. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you making the time and presenting here. And I also want to appreciate everyone who has made the time to come for the event today. I truly, truly appreciate you. Again, as I've mentioned before, the next event is going to be happening on the second Wednesday of next month. And so as I share that here, that's the 7th of December. And so I welcome all of you guys to join and attend. It's already scheduled out on Eventbrite. So just go to uiuxnairobi.co.ke and you'll find the link there. I want to appreciate all of you guys for making the time to come. There are a lot of things that have been posted that are really useful on the within the chat. So before you leave, just make sure you get whatever you need, be that clicking on the links and so on before they probably disappear. And I will try my best to paste as many of the links that were posted here in the past event section. But I really appreciate all of you guys for coming. I am looking forward to meeting you in the next one. Again, if you're interested in joining the Slack community, please email hi@uxnairobi.co.ke, and we're going to be able to add you to that as we create them. It's not yet ready. We're actually creating them as we go. But I appreciate you guys for coming. Sorry, Henry, you didn't get a chance to ask your question, but I thank you for raising your hand. Well, hopefully in the next time you'll get a chance. And unless anyone has anything else to say, I would like to end, unless someone wants to say something before we end.
Kindly share the email in the chat.
I was speaking for that long on mute. Sorry. Does anyone else have anything to say before we close?
Yes, I think I have. Maybe it's just a humble request. If maybe you can create maybe like a Telegram group whereby as the community we may be communicating some other opportunities we have. Thank you.
Okay. So Telegram. All right. Awesome. Someone is suggesting that we do the next one in Zoom. Part of the reason why I didn't use Zoom this time is because the paid version this whatever we're using now allows us to be there for quite a while, and we need to get the paid version. Hopefully we'll have it by the next time. But thanks for the suggestion. Anyone else wants to say something before we leave? And you're free to leave. Don't feel like you're held, but you're free to also hang out. So I'm open to any questions. Anyone wants to say something? Go ahead. I see Henry, Moniki, and Gitumbi have their hands up.
I think I want to just say good job, Anthony. That was a well and moderated event. Kudos, keep it up. I think it's always good to see a well-organized meetup like this. So cheers, everyone, and thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for that feedback, Moniki. I appreciate it. Henry?
See, my hand was actually up for a question for Joel, but I'm just going to say thanks for organizing this. I think it's a good initiative, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And you're on mute again.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, I guess unless anyone else has anything to say, we can end it there. I really appreciate you guys attending, and see you next time, unless anyone else has anything else to say. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Catch you in the next one. Remember to go to uixnairobi.co.ke to catch the next event. And until next time, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.